So for March, the main videos that I'm doing is a continuation of a series that I did last year, where I read Booktuber recommendations to see if I like, well, not recommendations, but more their favourites. And I did this last year with the hosts of readathons I was participating in, and that one had some mixed results. So I'm doing this again, but this time I'm doing it with some booktubers on Discords that I'm a part of. I've chosen 3 specific booktubers who have become my friends through Discord. And the first one that I'm doing this one first because it's the only one where I own all 3 of the books. And this is Denise from Chaos in Bookland. And I'm calling this one the retellings edition, because all 3 of these are retellings. So we have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. We have Sally's Lament by Marie Mancusi, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, which is a Nightmare Before Christmas retelling. And we have Poor Unfortunate Souls by Serena Valentino, which is obviously this one's not so much a retelling as an origin story of Ursula from The Little Mermaid. So, these are the 3 that I'm picking up for this one. And I will catch you guys when I've started. Bye! So I'm just going to film this clip on my phone, because I did bring my camera with me on this walk, but I forgot to put a memory card in it. So I'm just going to do the clip on my phone. Let me get down these stairs, because I don't want to fall over. Okay, so basically, I have started Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I'm about 50 pages in, and so far you've got Catherine, who is the main character, who I'm assuming is going to become the Queen of Hearts, and she's essentially she's this baker around town who is known for making some good treats, and that's all she wants to do in this town. She doesn't want to be the Queen of Hearts. She doesn't want to be anything aside from this baker who just has a little shop. But then her mother makes her go to this ball that everyone in the town is going to, and the king has decided that she is to be his queen, but that's the last thing she wants. So her friend Trisha makes a distraction before the announcement can be made, and she takes off. And she ends up I don't think I'm at this. Finally a nice day. Yeah, finally a nice day. Yeah. That's the one thing about filming in public in here, this is an estate and I live with these people in it, so sometimes it's hard for me to multiple talking. Anyway, what was I up to? Oh yeah. Basically, on the plot, Catherine has met the person that the plot says she's going to be in, like a forbidden type of romance in. But they haven't fallen in love yet, but they have met. The way that where I ended the book, they've just met, and they're about, I think when I go back into it, they're going to start falling for each other. So yeah, I think I know that's where the plot's going because of what it said on the back. And then some other characters that have been we've been introduced to a few popular nursery rhymes, like Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater, and a bunch of others. But yeah, so that's where I'm up to in this. That's where I'm up to in the story, and I know this was kind of a confusing update, but I wanted to let you know that I started it, and also I am enjoying it so far. I think it's well written and it's a fast read. So I'll give it that. And I will check back in with you guys a bit later. Probably once I've read some more. Alright, bye! Hi! So I just thought I'd come back in and give a quick update on where I'm up to in the book now. I'm now on page 79, so it's about 29 more pages since I was here last time. But I can give you a more detailed description now of what happened in the 79 pages, now that I've actually got the book in front of me and I'm not distracted by all the walking. But yeah, like I said, you've got the main character, or the Queen of Hearts character, is Catherine. And Hearts is actually the name of this town that they live in. So she's queen of the town, or king of the town. But we've had a lot more of like well-known character. Oh, hello. Yeah, we've had a lot more of the well-known Alice in Wonderland characters introduced now. We've been told about the Jabberwock, who broke into the ball and kidnapped people after Kath left. And then I don't know if the Joker or Jest character that she's lusting after was a character in the book, but not a character in the book, a character in the original book, like Alice in Wonderland. I don't know if he is a character later or if he's going to become a well-known character. But yeah, so she has an attraction to him. Come here. Wanna come here? Yeah, so she has an attraction to him. She keeps having like these intense, sexy dreams of him. She doesn't want to marry the king. She wants to... Well, she doesn't want to marry anyone. She wants to open a bakery, like I said before. But she does have an attraction to Jest. And yeah, so we'll skip it. So what else has happened is Catherine and her Catherine and her mother have this disagreement. Her mother wants her to marry the King of Hearts, but she wants nothing to do with that. But her mother won't let her. But her mother literally won't let her say no. So at the moment, she doesn't have a choice, because her mother is quite strongly saying, you need to marry the king. You don't have a say otherwise. Catherine wants nothing to do with it, but at the moment she doesn't want to... At the moment she can't argue with her mother, because her mother's not listening anyway. So let's jump ahead to what else happened in those 29 pages. Catherine and her maid, Marianne, have gone to look at this place that Catherine wants to lease to open a bakery, to open her bakery. And this is where we meet another well-known Alice in Wonderland character, the Caterpillar, because he is the current leaser of the shop. The Caterpillar is the current leaser of the shop. So we've been introduced to another character, and like I said, it's only been 29 pages, so I really don't have that much else to say, but I just wanted to come back and give like a better detailed description than I did on that walk. But I have also broken out the Alice in Wonderland mug, because Alice in Wonderland retelling, Alice in Wonderland mug. Yeah, it seemed like a good call. So, I will get back to reading. I just wanted to pop in really quick and give a bit more talk about the plot. Alright, later. Hi guys, so I just thought I would give an update on my thoughts about this book, because I'm now about halfway through. So yeah, we've met a few other characters now. We've met the Mad Hatter and the March Hare. Basically, the Mad Hatter owns a hat shop and throws tea parties. That's what he's known for. That's what Hatter's known for in this situation, which I'm good with. And then you've basically the main plot things that have happened is the king has offered to court Catherine instead of having it be an outright straight into marriage. Just convinced the king that she might prefer to court. So it's like they space out the relationship instead of going straight into the proposal. And Catherine's agreed to this. So now the king and Catherine are courting. And even though she doesn't want a bar of it, she's doing it to sort of appease her parents. And then, apparently, aside from her maid Marianne, Catherine's like best friend in her childhood is the Cheshire Cat. And the Cheshire Cat tells her of a baking competition that is being held. And since Catherine wants to be a baker, she decides to enter it because it'll get her enough money that she can open the baking shop without needing her parents' permission. And yeah. And there's also a suspicion. Catherine and Marianne also sort of have a suspicion about the Jabberwocky, because as they were at Peter Pumpkin Eater's farm trying to buy a pumpkin, they saw something that was like evidence of the Jabberwock being either near the farm or connected to the farm. And it's taken 234 pages for Catherine to realise that she's in love with Jest. She originally didn't want the courtship with the king because she didn't want to be married to anyone. She wanted to run a baking shop and not concern herself with romance. She didn't realise that it was because she was in love with Jest until 230 pages in. And that's where I left it before I came and talked to you. And I will probably just smash the rest of this out and then come back and tell you how the second half went. Like, unless something significant happens that I need to talk about, I'm just going to finish up the rest of the book and then come back and give a final thoughts. Okay, it is many hours later, but I finished it. So, Heartless by Marissa Meyer is now complete. I can see why my friend Denise likes this book. Her channel's literally called Chaos in Bookland, and she has a love for Alice in Wonderland, and that's pretty much what this was, an origin story for the Queen of Hearts. I'm giving this a 4. I'll admit, the second half did pick up a bit more. I think it was just falsely advertised. It was advertised as a fantasy / and then secondary as a romance. I would have called this a romance before a fantasy, but hey, I'm not the person who... Hey, I'm not the author. But yeah, I can't give it more than a 4 because I'm quite picky with 5 stars. My 5 stars have to like mean something, or there's no point in doing 5 stars. Second half of this, basically the Queen of Hearts, it pretty much just went down a whole like crazy train. I don't want to give, even though this book is quite old, I don't want to give spoilers, so I'm not going to go into what made it crazy. But yeah, it did pick up on the craziness in the second half, and then it just, we pretty much saw the Queen of Hearts, or Catherine's descent into madness. And yeah, well, not just Catherine's, we also saw the Mad Hatter's descent into madness. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this one, so I will see you for the next book. Bye! Hello. So, this clip is because one of the activities that Denise said she likes doing is baking. So, I thought I would bake something. I've bought just like a little cake mix. So, okay, so the first step, according to this, is preheat the oven to 160 degrees fan forced, or 180 degrees normally. Okay, so I need this cake mix, 2 1/3 cups of milk, 2 eggs, and then 3 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so first trick, I'm gonna get some scissors. Yeah, first trick, scissors to open this cake mix. Oops. Okay, so that's in the bowl. So yeah, into the fridge. I'm just gonna scoot around you there. I don't want to have to go in here more than once. Okay, so let's do the eggs first. Because for this I just need to break the eggs. I don't need to measure anything. So I need 2 eggs. Okay, so 1 egg and 2 eggs. Okay. Okay. My measuring cups are in this cupboard. Let's find one that has a 2/3 measurement on it. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll use this one. This one has a 2/3 measurement on it. So yeah, 2/3 a cup of milk. There we go. Okay. keep in mind, I'm not a food channel, so I'm trying my best. Ow. Okay, so that's the milk and eggs in. So now I'll just do the butter, and I'll also get my stirring spoon just while I'm over there. Okay, so let me get my measuring spoons. Oh, I put them in the second drawer. Okay, so it's a tablespoon. Okay, so it's 3 tablespoons of butter. Come on. Yeah, there we go. That's close enough. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get something to get this out. Okay. Just going to use that spoon to scoop the butter out of here. Okay. Okay, so that's all the ingredients. So now I'm just going to stir it. I'm going to mix it around. It did say to use an electric mixer, which I have, but it was too complicated to put together, so I'm just going to use my spoon. You know what? That'll do for That'll do for mixing. It's all going to be cooked together anyway. So let me just get some baking paper. Out of the drawer. Do I have an open one? Nope. Okay. It did say to use just cooking spray, but I prefer to use baking paper because it's just easier to get it out when it's done. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get scissors to cut this middle bit. Oh my god. Oh man, good. Okay, there we go. There we go. I got the baking paper done. Okay, I think that'll be enough. All right, you know what? That'll do. Because I think when I pour it in, that'll flatten anyway. Okay, I'm going to try it. Like I said, I'm not a baker, so this is all just a guess. But I think I'm good. melting. No man good. No man good. Right? Let me just... It says cook for 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, so I'll see you guys. Okay, I don't know if I'll film me get it out of the oven, but I will get some footage of the cake cooked, and then that'll be it for this B-roll segment. Bye! Okay, and this is the final result of my cake. I don't know how I managed to make it look more like a square when it was on a round cake tin, but I did say I wasn't a baker. But it's made. And it's still going to be perfectly good cake. Just looks a bit funny. Hello! So, I am down here. You know what? I'm going to stand... Yeah, you know what? I will stand up. Okay. Ow, damn it. And I got full crank. Alright. I finished Poor Unfortunate Soul by Serena Valentino. I'm just going close so you can see the cover. This was book number 2 for Denise's picks. Oh, let's not go too far back because you'll be able to see that I'm not actually wearing long enough bottoms. Anyway, this was so this was about, let me just point the camera up. Oh, let me just adjust it a little bit. Alright, that'll do. Alright, there we go. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. This was book number 2 for reading Denise or Chaos in Bookland's favorites or recommendations. She basically said the Disney villain series. I told her to pick one of the ones I hadn't read, and she picked Poor Unfortunate Soul. And I'm giving this a 3. Because I was like really into it. But it bounced back and forth so much between characters that I couldn't really keep up with the story. So I feel like 3 or 3.5 is probably the safe way to go. So I have one more book to read for this video. So I will come back once I have picked it up. Bye! Okay, so I'm just doing this clip really quickly because then I can finally get this video out, and I'm about to jump in the shower, so I'm just going to quickly give a final thoughts on the 3rd book, which is Sally's Lament by Mary Mancusi, which is one of the Disney Twisted Tales. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 stars because I'm not afraid to admit part of it did make me cry. And I really liked the message that not everyone's completely nice or completely naughty. They have bits of both. And you don't have to be perfect to be wanted. So yeah, this is definitely a 5 star. Which puts the total for Denise at 12.5. So, not bad overall. And I will see you guys in the next video that I get out in March.